Without the brass plates, the people of the Book of Mormon would have dwindled in unbelief, like the people in Zarahemla did, whose own language had become corrupted before the Nephites found them. The scriptures provided not only an anchor to maintain a written language for a civilization, but it provided legal precedent for the Nephites for generations. The scriptures are called the standard works for a reason. Without them, millions of disciples would feel justified in doing or not doing a million different things, including believing and doing those things which are nothing more than recommendations, urgings, traditions, and policies of their church. The law of the gospel, however, is the bedrock foundation for conduct. In D&C section 45, verses 56 and 57, we read, "And in that day, when I shall come in my glory, shall the parable be fulfilled which I spake concerning the 10 virgins. For they that are wise and have received the truth, and have taken the Holy Spirit for their guide, and have not been deceived, verily I say unto you, they shall not be hewn down and cast into the fire, but shall abide the day." God is a God of laws, but not only that, celestial laws. Those who wish to attain celestial status must learn to conduct themselves like celestial beings. Some of the most basic laws apply to this celestial world. Don't steal, don't lie, don't murder. But to be a celestial being requires much more than these, and Jesus Christ taught us how, not only by teaching us what it means to love, but also how He loved. What God requires of one person doesn't necessarily mean He requires the same thing of another, or else we would all be required to sacrifice our only son like Abraham was required. We all have different lessons to learn because we all have different strengths, weaknesses, personalities, struggles, etc. Ultimately, though, we must all learn how to give up the same everything. Zion cannot be built unless it is built upon the principles of the law of the celestial kingdom. This is what Jesus Christ declared to Joseph Smith and the saints in our infant church. In D&C section 105, verses 1 through 6, we read, "Verily I say unto you, who have assembled yourselves together, that you may learn my will concerning the redemption of mine afflicted people. Behold, I say unto you, were it not for the transgressions of my people, speaking concerning the church and not individuals, they might have been redeemed even now. But behold, they have not learned to be obedient to the things which I required at their hands, but are full of all manner of evil, and do not impart of their substance as becometh saints, to the poor and afflicted among them, and are not united according to the union required by the law of the celestial kingdom. And Zion cannot be built up unless it is by the principles of the law of the celestial kingdom. Otherwise, I cannot receive her unto myself. And my people must needs be chastened until they learn obedience, if it must needs be, by the things which they suffer." When you look in the mirror, you naturally see yourself. If you looked in the mirror and saw someone else, or even a group of people, you might think you were going crazy, or maybe even schizophrenic. The law of the gospel works in this same way. When you study the scriptures, they were designed to act as a mirror for you to work on yourself, and not as a magnifying glass to look for the failings of everyone else. Yet this is what most people do, and it's prevalent in the church. For this reason, Jesus taught us to remove the beams in our own eyes instead of looking for motes in the eyes of everyone else. There are many stories, anecdotes, and poetry in the scriptures, but more importantly, there are laws and commandments. If people want to argue about whether Laban needed to die or whether polygamy is right or wrong, that's one thing. But to neglect the weightier matters will only hurt us in the long run. Learning to become exactly like Jesus Christ is paramount. The rest is just noise. This is why Lehi was required to bring the brass plates with him to the promised land. And this is why a tiny branch of Israel believed in Jesus Christ and worshipped him hundreds of years before he was born. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 1 through 3, we read, Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Learn to be exactly like Jesus Christ.